Hey guys, I unfortunately learned the hard way that you cannot do this while you're reading because the audio is horrible. So I was doing that so you'd just be able to see this the whole time and I have to watch my face. But I have to go like this. Luckily I was doing that for my 26 long minute video, the one right before this, chapter 21, because that would have been so horrible to do over again. Oh, actually no, it was the one 20, I think it was. I don't know. One of them was long. 2 chapters I need to redo, so I'll do those later, but I need to look back and see what ones they were. But I have to record like this, so that's fun. Anyway, guys, we are on chapter 22, Jace's perspective, and it starts on page 185. If you have a physical copy, I don't know where you're at. If you're reading along on tablet, you don't even have to read along. You can if you want to, just kind of know what's going on. Anyway, it's Tone Deaf by Olivia Rivers, and let's just get right into it. This is Jace's perspective. Killer comes bounding into the RV shortly after Allie drifts off to sleep. I'm a little worried about her sleeping so much, but I guess it's to be expected. She probably hasn't gotten a full night's sleep in years. Not if she's been living in an abusive home. I still remember trying to force myself into fitful sleep, holding my breath as I listened for any sign that my dad had woken up from his drug-induced stupor. And then there was the first time I spent the night at Killer's place. I had slept for 15 hours straight, and I'd only woken up when Killer tried taking my pulse to make sure I wasn't in a coma. Dude! Killer says as he comes skidding to a halt in front of me. Seriously, what's wrong with you? I pull Allie's sleeping form a little closer. What's his problem? If anyone needs to be more discreet, it's him and Arrow. I open my mouth to say this, but I realize Killer isn't talking about Allie. He's pointing to my mouth and gaping at me with an exaggerated expression of shock. Typical Killer. What? I mutter, even though I know exactly why he's surprised. You're actually smiling. Do I need to call 911 or something? You're not going to drop dead on me, are you? You don't need to act so dang shocked, I say. It's not like you haven't seen me smile before. He ignores me and points excitedly at Allie's sleeping form. Are you two together now? It's only been a week, boy. No one should move this fast. I nod and brace myself for a wave of uneasiness I'm sure is about to hit me. I'm not the type to be with a girl, at least not for longer than one night. Being with someone means handing my emotions over to them, and that never ends prettily. But the uneasiness doesn't come. As hesitant as I am to believe it, I think a relationship with Allie might actually be worth the potential pain. Holy shoot. Did I just say the R word? Relationship. Allie stirs in my arms and nuzzles closer to me in her sleep, a soft smile on her mouth. I trail my fingertip along her full lips, tracing the contours of her smile. I've had hundreds, probably even thousands of girls flash me smiles, but none of them have been as pretty as Allie's. Hers is hesitant, like she isn't used to happiness, and it's hard not to share her good mood when I know I'm the reason for the gentle expression. I need to talk louder so you guys can hear me. I feel like I should, bring this closer. Oh, that's as close as it goes. Okay. Just bring the computer closer. Anyway. The RV door opens and slams shut, and Arrow walks into the room. The second he sees Allie curled in my arms, his expression darkens. I instinctively tighten my grasp around her. He shakes his head in disbelief. What? Don't even start, I snap. He throws his hands up in defeat and sits right next to Killer on the couch. I'm just saying. They're absolutely adorable together, Killer interrupts, clapping his hands together excitedly. I raise an eyebrow at Arrow. You let Killer have caffeine, didn't you? 2 mochas, Arrow admits with a grimace. Then he points back at Allie. But we're talking about your mistake, not mine. She's not any kind of mistake, Arrow, I say, doing my best to keep my tone calm. I'm pretty sure I fail because his eyes narrow a little. I'm just saying this is happening awfully fast, Arrow says. I agree. It's not like this is random, I argue. I've been around here constantly for a full week, which is much longer than he knows most girls. Killer chirps. I ignore him and continue. Plus, I'm not sleeping with her or anything. Killer nods enthusiastically, which just shows how special this one is. I grit my teeth and shoot Killer glare. Dude, you're not helping. He holds his hands up in an innocent gesture, but the smirk on his lips tells the real story. I flip him off and say to Arrow, you have no reason not to like her. No reason? No reason? Arrow runs a hand through his shaggy hair and shakes his head. Jace, you're being delusional. I mean, taking her in is one thing, but being in a relationship with her, that's practically begging for the cops to accuse you of kidnapping, or worse. I've already told you I don't care. Clearly, Arrow says with a sigh. If you cared, you'd stay away from her. Not everything in my life has to revolve around the band, I snap. I'm not talking about the band. I'm talking about Allie. I think we all know you're not healthy for her. Heck, you're not healthy for any girl. I open my mouth, waiting for a retort to come springing out, but there's only my stunned silence. He's right. Of course I'm not healthy for her. And of course Arrow is so annoyingly, stupidly right. But it's still enough to make me give her up. I can change, I say slowly, finally finding my voice. I can figure out how to make a relationship work. But I'm not changing the fact that we're together, so get over it, Arrow. Either that or get out of here. I already told you I'm not going to leave you, Arrow says with a sigh. I know. He points an accusing finger at me. Then don't make me do anything I regret, okay? I've already promised that I'll stand by you for this, but if you hurt that girl or the band, it's over. What's over? Everything, Arrow says. You walk a fine line between but and unredeemable. And if you cross that line, I'm not going to put up with you anymore. My eyes widen. Is he actually threatening to ditch, to leave the band, leave our careers, leave me? I glance down at Allie, and for a brief moment, I wonder if she's worth all this. Then I shake my head and grit my teeth. I understand. Arrow gives a short nod. Good. With that, he lets out a tired sigh and throws an arm over his boyfriend's shoulders. There's a long, awkward silence, then Killer hesitantly asks, does this mean we get to double date? Arrow and I manage to stretch out the silence about 3 more seconds as we stare incredulously at Killer. Then Arrow bursts out laughing, and even I can't help but chuckle a little. Trust Killer to take that away from our conversation. I shake my head at my bandmate, wishing I could be as carefree as he is. But then who would worry about Allie? That is the end. Thank you guys for joining me. We ended on page 189, so obviously we'll be picking up on page 190 on chapter 23, Allie's perspective. Thank you guys again for joining me. I hope the audio is better this time. Once I upload it, I will listen to it, and goodbye for now.